Hey brothers, time to discover and support each other. Steffo here from the Tantric Man Experience, back with another video. Today we're talking about couples therapy and marriage counseling and why it does not work. Traditional therapy and counseling provide a success of only 20 to 50%. And that low percentage is often mediocre and painful. Don't get me wrong, I love therapy and I think it can help some, but in my own experience, in my client's experience, I see it's failing more often than succeeding. So we have a small percentage of success and a big failure rate of 50 to 80%. So this video is about that big percentage, right? So 2 years after ending counseling, studies have found that 25% of couples are worse off than were when they started the counseling. And after 4 years, up to 38% divorced after counseling. So couples therapy can do more harm than good when the therapist doesn't know how to help a couple. So there is a fundamental flaw in couples counseling, and the flaw is the idea that it takes two people to save the marriage. When we believe it takes two, we get into expectations that the other partner should do the heavy lifting and not us. That expectation causes so much pain and suffering, making it very difficult to save any marriage because we start keeping count. We start keeping track. She did this and I did that. Why should I do that if you didn't do this? Sounds familiar? That resentment and judgment destroys a marriage. Another problem with marriage counseling is that it's not only painful emotionally, but it causes a lot of pain financially. It's actually super expensive. For it to work, not only you need to go to a couples therapist, but you also need your own therapist, and your wife needs her own, right? So there is 3 different occasions per week that you need to go to. The couples, your wives, and your own, right? And when you do it like that, the percentage of success goes up a little bit. But that is painstakingly expensive, right? It will cost you about $7,000 a year to go to your own therapist, another 7 for your wife, another 7 for the couple. So that's $21,000 per year. And it says it takes a minimum of 1 year to go to counseling to see good results. Usually, I would say it's 2 to 3 years, and you can do the numbers yourself. So that's hell of a expensive when you think about the success rate being so low, right? It's like paying big bucks to increase suffering. All right, and the third reason why marriage counseling isn't working is because it focuses on the issues and repeating the problems again and again. We are talking about what is negative, but all the problems. That's the focus on the whole entire session. Haven't you taken out the garbage? Why don't you say I love you enough? But I said it the other day, but I felt you didn't mean it, she replies, right? And I don't like how you argue in front of the kids. Or, my husband is not emotionally available. He just shuts down. The husband goes, my wife is not sexually open. She just shuts down sexually. There's no intimacy anymore. They're always dealing with some of the symptoms of communication, sex, and respect, right? So understand that those are just the symptoms. Bad communication, not respecting each other is not the real issue. The issues and the symptoms are never ending. There will never come a time when there are no issues that the therapist will ask you about. So you are stuck in a loop of focusing on negative, the bad, and the ugly. And what you focus on is what you attract into your life. Have you heard that? So you're literally increasing the bad by talking about it again and again, giving that shit all your attention and all your energy. And when you leave the therapist after a session like that, you look at each other and be like, what did you say? What did you say in there? Walking out, feeling misunderstood, criticized, judged. And then there is this private process after the counseling session with more fighting about what you said in there, right? Does that seem like it's an increase in love and connection? Isn't that what you want? What you really want? To feel happy, right? So counseling is not only magnifying and increasing the issues and negative feelings, but it's also just focusing on the symptoms, not the real underlying cause. And the fourth issue with marriage counseling is that when you focus on the root issues instead of the symptoms, which are usually only a handful of things about what women really care about, all the symptoms goes away. When we focus on what really matters to a person, we can solve things. When you first got together, when you fell in love with your wife, you did not focus on the symptoms, did you? Right? You did not put all the negative aspects under the microscope and magnify it, right? It worked because there was a core connection, a spark between you guys, a sense of being loved. The sex was great, and the communication just flowed effortless, easily, without effort. You didn't think about how you communicated, right? So the polarity between you two guys was strong. That was the reason why it was working well. Not because you were focusing on the symptoms all the time. It automatically worked because the polarity and passion were there. That's why you can't heal a marriage any other way than focusing on the polarity and core connection. That's exactly how I work with my clients. I work with balancing the polarity within themselves first, and then that will affect their marriage. I work on mastering their sexual energy, so to spark that passion again, just like how you felt on the honeymoon. When you raise your sexual energy in your body, she can feel that too. And you start to build that trust again. Any feminine being that trusts you will want to have more sex with you. She will want to feel connected, and she will want to follow your lead. If you know how to master this on a high level, your wife will become crazy over you, period. That's it. There's no other way that can happen, that can go. Just like a magnet will attract metal, there's no doubt that it will, if they're close enough. So you must become the magnet in the marriage, not the piece of metal, right? I help my clients reprogram their mind so they believe they can be the ones who fix the marriage, so they can take ownership of the situation instead of blaming their wife for their issues. When people get this and implement it in their marriage, I have noticed there is a sense of, this moment of like, I got it. Something clicks. And all of a sudden, their wives stop bickering. They stop complaining. And you let go of trying to please her with cleaning the house, doing the dishes, saying how much you love her 20 times a day, buying flowers on Friday. Those are just band-aids, right? If you don't feel connected and trust you, it doesn't matter how many flowers you give, right? And finally, you can stop complaining about her and that she's not committed to the relationship, because when you follow my steps, you will become committed to you more than ever before. She will come to you and say things like, hey, something about you is different. I'm more drawn to you. You're more attractive. It feels like we're in love again. Can you feel the same? I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing that. I can feel you now. It's like you're more there for me. And this is what I've been craving all these years when we have been drifting apart. All right? So if you're in a bickering marriage at the moment that you're serious about saving and you want to bring back the sparks and passion, go ahead, book a free call where we can talk about your challenges. What your ideal marriage looks like. And we can craft a personal strategy on how to save your marriage. And if we're a good fit to work together, sure, we can also talk about that, but no stress. The calls, which I call the breakthrough sessions, are totally free. But since there are limited spots, and there's only one of me and many of you guys, there are few requirements. So the sessions are only for guys who believe in the concept that it only takes one person to fix the marriage. If you're into victimizing and blaming your wife, then sorry, I can't help you. And you need to be serious about transforming your marriage. And if you don't have your finances and work settled, I can't really help with that. Even though I see that men who fix their marriages also raise their income indirectly, but I'm not a business coach, right? So then it's not just your marriage that's in a mess, it's your whole life, right? But otherwise, if that is you, if you're that guy who wants to transform your marriage in a short period of time, go ahead and apply for your free breakthrough session. Go to tantricacademy.com/apply. On that site, pick your time in the calendar that will pop up, and then on the next page, when you find your suitable time, just fill out and answer a few questions about your marriage in the application. So super stoked to talk to you soon and helping you craft that game plan that can save your marriage. So until next time, stay strong, brothers, stay healthy, take care.